Welcome to Love Fitness Studios podcast, live from Manchester, UK, speaking to entrepreneurs in the fitness, health and well-being industry, sharing stories about the real-life challenges and hustle. Now, over to your host, Nick Phillips.
Okay, welcome to Love Fitness Studios podcast number 4, and I am with Dom from DNA. How are you doing, Dom?
Yeah, great, thank you. All the better for seeing you.
Oh, that's lovely. I've not seen you for a long time.
No, I've been hiding. I've been very, very busy and obviously lockdown as well, so that's changed things, hasn't it?
Just a little bit, and we'll definitely get onto all of that. So, for those people out there, who is Dom? Take me back. I always like to start back. Tell me where you're from, what your sort of childhood was like. Take me right to the back.
Okay, right. Well, the accent will give me away. I'm a local boy from Bolton. My childhood wasn't too sporty. You know, I was the chubby kid. Nothing changed too much there. And then, you know, as I grew up in Bolton, I grew up in a culture of drinking, drugs, and the wrong side of this kind of thing that we're talking about today. You know, my childhood and my teen years especially were based more around being naughty rather than being good, and it was something that I turned around a lot later on in life, really. I got into fitness, so I got some weights when I was 14. And then kind of like did my own little bits of Thai boxing and some jiu-jitsu, and a few little pieces of martial arts and things like that. And that was kind of where that born a little bit of love for keeping a little bit healthier. You know, take that puppy weight that my mum said I'd lose when I was 16, but it turns out that I think it's going to be 46 before I lose that. So childhood was had nothing to do with the kind of things I'm doing now.
Right.
It was something that I feel I've completely changed, you know, my lifestyle.
Did you battle with weight? Was it you or did you just like?
I think the same as everyone else. You know, I think it's really common that everybody battles with weight. Some people obviously a lot more than others. You know, we have a lot of chronic problem in the UK, a lot of Western Europe and the Western world. I did worry about it a lot. I did battle about it. Aesthetics were very important to me as a youngster. I think everybody that's a little bit chubby, you get the fun made out of you, and you get you get anxious. And you get problems with yourself. You
do. Sorry to jump in, but you do sort of start to accept it, don't you? You start to become, I was Fat Nick or Spud. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you sort of take that on your shoulders that you just that's the way it is.
Yeah.
And I remember as a child sneaking off to the shops and going buying £5 worth of sweets and chocolate and just sitting and eating it all on the way home.
Yeah.
I don't know what that was all about.
Well, you know, I think because we know each other from a long time ago, you know, and we knew each other as children. And I was very similar, and I know we can pull it down to emotion. You know, we obviously looked at food and unhealthy food as part of helpful emotion. You know, so if you're feeling anxious, if you're feeling sad, down, or maybe there's a little bit of something missing, whatever that be in your life, you know, whether it be relationship. You know, you kind of filled that with food a lot, I think, for a lot of people.
Definitely. And it's interesting because, you know, my brother, Christian, he's always been very lean. So, like, we've gone through the same...
He's like a Greek god.
He is. He's just shred. I don't know how he just like, made him out of clay. But the thing is, I mean, look, as childhood, my dad left at a very young age, literally said he was going off on business, never came back, never seen him again. So obviously that must have been a bit of trauma in our lives. But with Christian, I think he was a very natural sprinter, very sporty. He smoked, so maybe that kept the weight down a little bit. Do you know what I mean? So it's just interesting to know that two boys coming from the same household. Yes, my mum did an amazing job of bringing up, and then my dad, John Phillips, who I treat as my dad, he brought us up. So that was a massive godsend. And do you know what I mean? But we was both going through that trauma of our lives.
What's the age difference between Christian and you?
He's only a year. Yeah, he's only a year older.
Yeah. So maybe that's part of it as well. You know, maybe because I do see this a lot. I see it a lot in fitness, and it's something that I picked up on a few years ago. I see that big brother mentality as setting examples. You know, like I can spot in my gym and all the gyms I've worked in and run. I can spot a big brother a mile off, and I can spot an only child and a little brother a long way away due to like confidence and the way that they hold themselves. It's really, you know, obviously then that runs into fatherhood as well.
Yeah.
And I think I do see a lot of big brothers that seem to be in a lot better shape, and the little brothers as well. Maybe there's the spoiled from the mum side of things,
Such
spoiled
an
from mum,
point,
maybe, you know, like
the second child syndrome.
Very much so. I mean, I was an only child, so I just
Was you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was brought up very much by my nan, and so I had like what was like from my mum and her two sisters, and then our Duncan, their youngest brother. It was like an older brother to me. There was 10 years between us, so it was a similar thing there. Dunk was slim, you know, the girls were slim and older and probably left alone a little bit, whereas my nan fed me, you know, she was just fed me, and that was emotion, you know. And
same
so,
with my gran.
And so so I went down that route, and while so lovely to know that I was loved so much that I was fed plenty, there's also then the fact that it became an emotional attachment, and it's something that I think as long as you're aware of it, you can control it, you can look at it, you know. And there's times like recently, this last couple of weeks, I've been emotionally attached back to food again, but I know it's there, so I will have the treats, I will do it, you know, I will find the things that I love. The one thing that I found that's worked best for me in that sense is only eat the things that are going to be big treats that I really, really like. So rather than just sitting there going, yeah, listen, there's a million packets of crisps there, I'll sit and eat that, you know, only do it if it's going to be worth it. You know, like, don't just sit there and eat like chocolates that you're not really interested in just because they're there. Go to the shop, make a thing, buy the you know, the decent cheesecake or the good pudding, and then that's your treat and that's your emotional fun. And that's I'm saying it's worked. I mean, I'm 95 kilograms, but I'm as healthy as I've ever been, and I'm as fit as I've ever been.
Do you drink?
No. So that's the one thing. You know, I cut that out. How long ago was it now? Like, I think probably about 7 years ago. I kind of eased off. I slowed it down because my lifestyle was drinking 4, 5, 6 times a week and binge drinking heavily as well.
Me
you know,
too,
it was big. And then like 4 years ago, when I got into this fully professionally, because I have another profession which we can talk about later, before this, when I got into it fully professionally, I made a decision, and it was just like, right, now do I want to eat sweets when I want to eat sweets, or do I want to have a beer when I need to have a beer, or a wine or whatever? And I chose the sweets. I chose the emotional side because I knew that was far easier for me to control, and it also fitted in a lot better with the type of training that I wanted to do. So I'm very much interested in the performance side of fitness and the sport side of fitness. So, you know, eating like sugary calories every now and then, or eating poor calories, what we would call starchy, something like that seemed to be possible to then do that, and then the next day kind of work it away and work it off. Whereas with drinking, especially as I hit my mid-30s, I was looking at like 2, 3, 4, 5 days of just getting back to square one. So I didn't particularly say, I stopped today, that's it. I just went, right, okay, make the decision, cut it out, slow it down. You know, maybe when there's something special going on, when there's a nice time to go out and have a drink, have a glass of wine. Don't say no. You know what I mean? Don't be going out there saying, hey, look at me, I'm teetotal. Because that wouldn't work for me, it would for lots. I got a lot of stick, you know, a lot of peer pressure. That was probably the biggest thing for me, the peer pressure.
When you're out with your mates,
man, what do you mean? What do you mean you're having a cup of tea? I'm having a cup of tea, and now I'm just at the point where I just literally have no interest in it, you know. So maybe there'll not be a lot of people that can you know, relate to that. But that's my thing.
I feel like I'm coming to next week. It'll be a year I've not touched a drink. Cheers. Cheers. That's the right word. But I feel exactly the same. I feel like I hit 38, and I feel like 37. I hit, and I felt like the alcohol, and I loved a pint. It was like my thing, pint and a bit and a burger. Do you know what I mean? I loved it. And I was the same, drinking 4 or 5 times a week. It was a comft thing. It was, I've had a shitty day at work, I'll have a drink. I've had a great day at work, I'll have a drink. Brilliant. And it got to the stage where I was waking up hungover and not wanting to spend time with the kids. Do you know what I mean? I was getting up, woken up, and I was like, I can't, like, just go over there. I can't. And I hated that. So I literally one day I said no, I'm stopping,
Great.
and that was it. I never touched drink since.
Great.
Same. Went to the football with the lads because
Yeah.
I love going and watching the football. Giving me stick. I'm ordering a Diet Coke. I'm ordering a bottle of water. Now, what are you doing? Do you know what I mean? Whatever.
Yeah.
But once you get over that,
Yeah,
and once
yeah,
they learn
yeah,
that,
yeah,
you
yeah,
don't
yeah.
drink.
Yeah.
It's fine. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I have a couple of things with that. A couple of things that kind of changed me and changed the way that I think about it. I watched it was just when you get caught down the rabbit hole on Facebook. I watched the video and it was an American guy and he was sat there and he was talking about this kind of thing. And somebody asked him the question like, what happens when you have peer pressure and your friends say you don't drink? And he said basically no, why do you put poison into your body? Because it's actually poisonous. It actually makes you feel ill. It dehydrates your organs. It doesn't make you feel well. So why would I do it? Because I'm doing other things. And it affects that I'm doing the other things that I love and I'm passionate about. Yeah. So look, if it's not affecting you in that sense, it's not affecting your mood, crack on. You know what I mean? Go for it. Have a glass of wine, have a few glasses of wine, drink the champagne, have the beers.
It's the moderation in it, and I feel like as very similar to you. Maybe I couldn't find that moderation for me. I couldn't. I was all or nothing. I'm all or nothing with everything in my life.
Yeah, I think a lot of people in fitness are, aren't they?
Yeah, especially gym owners. Because you've got to be. You've got to live, breathe, and or as you will succeed. So back to 14. Got yourself some dumbbells. Started to take interested in fitness. Yeah. What was next? What was the next bit?
So I got to around about 17, 18, and then I moved away. I went down living in London. I got a job down there, and I lived down in Kingston upon Thames and Surbiton. I lived there for almost 4 years. So while I was there, I was just busy. I was just work. I was a builder, and I was trying to get good at that, because whatever I want to do, I want to be good at it. So I was spending my time doing that, but all the time I was there, the guy I worked with was an ex-police officer. He was in the Met Police, and he was an instructor. He was a judo instructor down at Sunbury Police Station. Right. So I used to get to go there. I used to go there and get my ass kicked off the judo Met Police Force lads. Yeah. And that kind of gave me a not only a love of fitness and proper training, as in like purposeful training rather than just trying to look good. Yeah. It also gave me that like competitive edge of like I don't like getting beaten. I was 18, 19 year old and these were 30, 40 year old men who had a lot of experience, but I didn't like it. I didn't enjoy sitting on my back. I didn't enjoy going on with a bruised neck every night. So I decided to work hard at it. I decided to get good at it. I decided to get a lot better at it. Only amateur, only in an amateur sense. But I found myself, on building sites, doing particular work that was like trying to strengthen me in order, functionally to make me better at something that I just enjoyed doing. I just loved doing at the time. I kind of stopped that when I came home. I didn't find the options again to do that. But that's what ignited it. That's what really started it. That time away, I had a lot of time to think. I had a lot of time to myself. Yeah. And that's what kind of got me involved in the sense of looking at things of a case of, okay, so how would you get better at wanting to do what you love? And how would you get better competitively? And that seemed to help. I came home then, 21, and I would say through to 28. That was just football. They were the football years. So talk of amateur football in Britain having its problems, it's a drinking culture. I think the rugby is as well, professional differently, but the amateur side, it's just an excuse to go kick a ball, 90 minutes, run around, be with your pals, get the beer down your neck. And so that went on for me for 7 years. Yeah. At 28, I had a massive problem in my knee. Tore my cartilage, all my ligaments in my knee. My left knee still now has nothing inside it. There's no meniscus. It's absolutely wrecked.
Due to football.
Football. Yeah. I was. Playing football, you need to be a lot lighter than I am doing what I do now. Yeah. And I was too heavy. I was 14 and a half stone, and I just crunched it, twisted it one day, and then I literally spent 7 years not being able to walk up and down stairs, not being able to get in and out of bed without holding onto a banister. Wow. I was in an absolute wreck. My mum who's she worked in ear, nose and throat, so she worked in surgery. She was like, do not go for surgery. Do not do it. There's other ways, you know what I mean? You could take the cortisone injections, or she said, but look, the most successful things I've ever seen are rehabilitation. So after 7 years of having enough of it, at 35 I went and then I found strength and conditioning. I went and decided, basically decided in a home gym. In a new house, I built it up there. There's pictures actually on my Instagram story. They're funny, you know. It's just like it's a knackered old gym, and I've made my own bench. I've got all big old dumbbells.
Best
and rubbish.
days. They are the best days.
And I'm like, right, now get online. Speak to the right people. And rehabilitate the knee. And I got lucky. I got so lucky. I have a really good friend, a really close friend in Bolton, Stuart Stokes. We went to school together.
I've heard of him.
He's an Olympian.
I've heard of him.
So Stu Stokes, he has a couple of brothers who are good friends of mine as well. Stokes is the same age as me, and he's steeplechase Olympian.
Right.
So he ran at London Olympics. He was supposed to run at the Olympics before, which was China, I think. Then it was Beijing before that. And he was picked for it, and then they decided not to take him, unfortunately. But he went to London Olympics. And he did really well there. And while he was training for that, so I was like 29, 30 years old, so this is 13 years ago. So while he'd started the training, he started strength and conditioning. He was doing it at a Total Fitness in Bolton. And I was in there messing about. I was in there faffing about. I mean, they had machines there back then. They were more like fairground machines, you know. There was something that you did sit-ups and you threw a ball through it.
I saw one yesterday. I came up on my Instagram for. I thought, wow, are they still about?
They're still there. And you used to sit there, and it was like, you know, the basketball game you play, and the balls come back.
I love that machine. It did my back in.
So they had one of them machines, right? So I've got Stu Stokes over there, and he was training with a boxer, Amir Khan at the time. And they were training with a strength and conditioning guy from, I think he might have been at Wigan Warriors or St Helens or something like
What's
that.
he called?
Phil Richards.
Okay, I thought you were going to say Martin. Yeah. Right, go on.
So Phil Richards, and he looked, I think he was ex-army. He was proper. He was like a drill sergeant, and he wasn't messing about, and he was getting these two lads. He was showing these two lads who were like already like top sportsmen. One was a runner and one was a light boxer. And he was showing them that you needed to move weights, you needed high intensity interval training, and you needed to, when you work rather than faff and mess, and which is what I was doing. And we ended up, I chatted to him a few times, you know, I'm not too bad with that kind of thing. He was quite a bit older than me. And so I chatted to him a few times and I asked him a few questions, and when he wasn't busy, he was quite helpful with his time. Fantastic guy, very serious. And I was faffing on this machine, so I'm there and I'm throwing this ball, and I'll never forget it. And this changed it all for me. And he come and he stood over me and he watched me for about 10 seconds, and I think I finished throwing the ball through the hoop, and I looked up and he went, you know what? He said, you'd be better off getting off that fucking machine and going having a coffee. He said, because it'll do you more good. And I was like, okay, give me some ideas, give me some tips.
I love that.
And then it changed. It changed from messing and faffing to pulling sleds, strict pull-ups, you know, sprinting, power output. And then, funnily enough, I think the film 300 came out about the same time. And they did a workout. And they all looked mega in it. They weren't just like overly muscular like the 70s bodybuilders. You know, these boys were ripped. They got it right. And so I looked, you know, so you Google that, and then they did a workout called the 300 workout. This is my first proper experience with functional training. So I must have been, I'd say 29, so is it 14 years ago maybe, 300, must have been around about then. So I thought, I read up on it, and it's 50...
25 pull-ups.
50, it's 50 as it is.
You do 25 at the top and you finish with...
Is that what you do?
Right, 50 box jumps, 50 floor
50 deadlifts, 50 sweeps with the bar over your head. Right.
I've done it all,
And I got to it and I did the 50 deadlifts. I passed out.
50 box jumps.
I'd done the box jumps, I think, and then I think the deadlifts. So whichever way I was doing it, and I'd finished the deadlifts, like going for it as fast as I could, and I went, oh no, I don't think I've had enough breakfast. Ended up nearly passing out. You know, the PTs in there, thank Christ for them, had me on the floor with my legs in the air, giving me the old shake off. And I'm like, I mean, a lot of people would wake up and go, I'm getting back on the sit-up machine, and it made me go, that's it. I found something that's a challenge that I'm going to struggle with, and I want to be able to do that and finish it. I mean, like, I remember doing it a couple of years ago and it being like almost fun now. You know what I mean? It was almost an unbroken workout. It's something that we do now as like a really small part of functional fitness and CrossFit and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that was kind of where I found my real passion for what I'm doing now, you know, functional fitness, and it was CrossFit for years and years. I mean, we're not CrossFit affiliated anymore.
Yeah.
But that's another story that I can talk to you about later.
So once you'd done the 300 workout, nearly killed yourself. What was the next then? Did you just go look? Was CrossFit big then?
No, it was.
There's the main site.
I think you're looking about 2007 then, aren't you? So yeah, it was probably coming out around about then. It was probably around at that time. Yeah, and I'd never heard of it. I didn't hear of it until 2012. I remember hearing about it in 2012, and the story.
Is that when it was?
Yeah. So I think 2007. It'll probably been going on a little bit longer than that, but because they've got the 10-year affiliates now, so I think the affiliation started in about 2010, something like that.
Okay.
But they've been doing it from.
Feels like it's been around longer, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
But before that, the 300 workout was coming out, and then I think CrossFit was around about the same time. So they may have found it from that. You know what I mean? It may have been born from each other or one way.
Yeah.
And so. I kind of never looked into anything other than the sport. I never looked anything into other than just going, hang on a minute. So I'm watching these lads do this. They were paying Phil Richards, you know, the right amount of money to be top sportsmen and to be very, very good, you know, whatever that be. So I was watching them and I'm just taking ideas from them. You know, I'm waiting till they're finished, and then I'm going round. I'm doing 100 meters round the lap. 10 strict pull-ups, 100 meters around the lap, 10 kettlebell swings, you know, and I'm doing the kind of movements that they were doing. I'm grabbing the sled, grabbing the prowler, you know, doing the farmer's carriage, picking up the strongman stuff, and I'm adding all that in, and that was over like a 5-6 year period that I did that. Messing, I was still messing, and I was learning it, and I was getting into it, and I was just finding a way to do that how I needed to do it. And then it wasn't until I was 35. I had a friend of mine, Kev Connolly, who still has a nice little functional fitness gym now, a strength and conditioning gym, now in Bolton. And so he saw my little set-up garage, about the same size as this room, and he said, look, I'm just finishing my strength and conditioning degree at Salford University, or Manchester University, I think Salford Uni there. He said, I'm just finishing it and I want to set a gym up. He said, I've seen what you've done. I've seen you're a builder. He trained in total fitness as well. You know, I've watched you do some training. I like the idea of it. Would you help me set up a place? You know, like we can go partnership if you want. I said, look, I'm still a builder. I'm mega busy with it. I'm doing really well, but of course I'll help you. You know what I mean? Like free membership, that'll do for me.
Amazing.
I'll come along. I'll help you set up. So we set up in a room above Barbarian Gym in Bolton.
Is that still going?
No, I don't know. I don't think so. I know if it is, it's on about its 7th owner.
Is it? Because they used to. Who's the owner then?
So it was Jimmy and Mike. So Jimmy and Mike, and they're still friends of mine. They're still good pals of mine. We still talk. So we kind of started that. We opened that up, me, Kev, and another friend of mine, Ryan Yates. He helped us paint it and do it, and then we went seeing a company bought a load of second-hand kit, a load of second-hand gear. Kev put his money into it. I put some money into it. We got it set up, and we set it up as just like a circuit stroke functional fitness room. But we were trying to make it as accessible because it was all still a little bit new. This is 2012, you know, this is all a little bit new to the UK.
Definitely.
You know, obviously there were some CrossFit boxes out there then, the OGs, your CrossFit Clitheroes and
I think Manchester Central.
Train might not have been, but Central Manchester.
Darren Freeman, he was at top.
Don Beardwell.
That's where Christian trained. With Sam Briggs. Back in the day,
So Darren Freeman's actually a friend of mine now.
Yeah.
A good friend of mine.
That was the first, I mean, Christian obviously was into CrossFit, and I think it was Christian and Darren used to be the trainer at Top Fitness in Whitefield, and he was getting into it. Right. And he was just the guy in the corner that was making all the rackets, dropping the Olympic bar while all the grannies are swinging at him. And because that was never designed to be a CrossFit gym. Do you know what I mean? Because when you drop the weights, you can hear them from the changing rooms. You know what I mean? It's like boom, the whole place is shaking.
I tried it. I've done one. I did one workout in a Total Fitness, and I got about halfway through one in a JD gym, and I was like, yeah, I'll just go for a sauna. I took me advice from Phil and just went and got a coffee instead. It did me more good.
Yeah, definitely.
I kind of 2012. And then while we were doing that, while we were seeing that going on, we heard of the Manchester Games. I think that turned into the Rainhill Trials.
Right.
And the Manchester Games were on, and we went down and watched that. I can't even remember what it was. That was outdoors.
Yeah.
And we heard of CrossFit, so we watched the CrossFit Games. You know, it was all Froning back then. It was all Rich Froning, and Graham Holmberg and Jason Kalipa and that whole crew, Chris Spieler. Annie Thor's daughter, and we watched that. We went watching the Manchester Games, which was like the amateur or semi-pro type of it. Yeah. And I remember seeing the butterfly pull-ups, which gets a lot of stick actually from CrossFit, outside of CrossFit. Yeah. But I remember watching it and thinking, man, that's beautiful gymnastic movement. You know, like these are people who they're going from deadlifts and they're going from running, and they've just had a swimming competition this morning, and then they're doing high-level gymnastics, bar muscle-ups. Ring muscle ups, and I just thought, this is it. This is what I've been looking for. So all them things that I've been doing, all those movements I've been doing, I was looking for a way to, because you get a lot in this fitness game of what do you bench, bro, and you know the whole thing of like ego, and there was a way. I found a way of standardisation, and it was the CrossFit way. It was a way of finding, you know, how good you actually were at that movement. So if you do have to squat a certain depth and you do have to stand it up to the top, you can race at that. You know, you can go against each other at that. You can ask each other, you know, if there's, you know, like the powerlifters have to go to a certain depth, don't they? So it's standardised. It's a sport. The strong men, they have to throw the kettlebells over a certain height at certain weights. It's a sport. You know, when it's like, well, I can do burpees and I can do them however I want to do them, and I can do 1,000 in 10 minutes. It's not standardised, and so all I found really with CrossFit, well, all I found in that sense was a standardisation. I just found something that I could say, right. So what I can do now is, and this is their terminology, not mine. You can find something measurable, observable, repeatable. I can test whether I'm getting fitter. Yeah. So I can do the benchmark workouts. I can do the Frans and the Graces, the Isabels, the Karens, you know, and I can learn the movements properly. And then in 3 months, 6 months, 12 months time, I can retest them.
It's all about you, isn't it? It's all about you. It's all about you. It's not about everyone else. It's about
exactly that. And you know, or even then, you could even take the way of looking at it. Like you can look at other people and say, oh wow, they can do this. You know, I mean, it's the same in running. It's only the same in the sports, isn't it? You know, if it's a 5k run, like a couple of them can't do a 4k. Because, you know, they're a bit heavier or something. Everybody does the 5k run, and it's whoever's the fastest. And if you want to do a 5k run, you run it, and then you retest it. So you find ways then of getting better at that. We know now, you know, being in the fitness game, as long as we have that, to get better at a 5k run, you don't get up every morning and just do a 5k run and just do a 5k run, because that just wrecks your knees. You do some interval stuff. You do some 400 metre sprints with 2 minute, you know, rest. You know, you do some longer, slower stuff. You do some 2Ks at a slightly elevated pace and then rest and then do it again. You know, it's interval training, and it's understanding it works for so many things. It works for everything, and that's all fitness is to me. It's about finding the best way, and the best way for me to do it is look at those who are doing it the best. Look at the Olympians. Look at the top runners. Look at the top triathletes. Look at the guys who are at the top of the game, and take from them what they're doing and then put it into yours. You know, so all right, while we're in CrossFit, while we're looking at being the fittest, we're not going to ever be the best runners, because we also want to be good deadlifters. We're never going to be the best deadlifters because we're trying to run as well. So it's finding that balance, and it's finding that little piece in between. But that's what I really do love about it. I really love that it gives you lots of opportunities, and you can take it wherever you want. You know, you can take it in any order you want. So you can get into it in functional fitness, and you can say, hang on a minute, I like the strength look here. I don't want to do burpees anymore. I don't want to go running anymore. And you don't have to do it. You can stick with the strength side. You can end up going over to the strongman stuff. But what it does is it teaches you that there's not just load. You know, just adding load isn't making you better. You know, range of motion is just as important in your adaptation. Intensity of movement is just as important in adaptation, and then weight of load as well. So those three things are looked at from what we do as all being just as important as each other. And when I was at the gym, it just used to be like how fast can you run, so monostructural, and that was it.
Yeah.
Or how much weight can you move? How much is it that you can move? How much can you bench press? And they didn't take into consideration all three of the adaptations: range of motion, intensity of movement, and weight of load. And so we use that like daily. We use it in different ways, in different stimulus, in different domains, and we try and add as much as we can into it. And it just seems to work. It just seems to work. Like the people I work with are fit.
Yeah.
They're crazy fit. And it's really good. I think seeing CrossFit for the first time and what it was and what it does was such a surprise to me. Yeah. It was such an eye opener, because at the time, in 2013, when I've been doing it a year, I was like, I'm pretty sure I'm the fittest 36-year-old guy, like in Bolton. I've got to be. Yeah. And then I went to a couple of CrossFit boxes and realised I was just a dummy, messing about it still. And it took years and years and years of learning the skills, building the volume, building the exercises, and building the understanding of it all as well. Yeah. To get anywhere near being, half decent comparatively to the higher athletes and stuff like that.
Amazing.
And that's kind of where I am now.
Cool. So back to you've seen CrossFit. You set up the gym with your two mates. Yeah. Yeah. So what was next then? So was you still working as a builder then? Mm-hmm. Still working as a builder.
Very much so. Yeah. So that's 2012.
Right.
I was still full-time builder. I was. Well, funnily enough, we were in the process of buying a house. Hillary was 6 months pregnant, and we'd had to move from where I built the garage. Yeah. We'd had to move. The people that had a change of circumstances, so we were moving from there. And we had to find somewhere and buy, and we had to do it fast. We had 3 months to get in somewhere, get it done up, and have a baby. So we did it. Luckily, I was a builder, so I could kind of like put everything on hold. But I said, what I want to do is I want to still train for 3 hours a week. That was what Hillary and I agreed, my wife. She said, okay, you can have 3 hours a week. So as soon as I got that 3 hours a week, I was like, I better go to work. You know what I mean? I better, like, when I get in there, it's going to take me 10 minutes to get there, and it's going to take me 10 minutes to get home. I've got 40 minutes to work out. I can't afford to mess about. So, I spent those 3 hours doing that, working as hard as I could. So we set that up, we did that. And then I think I probably spent a year, 18 months at Performance 58 working with them, and then that just came to an end. I'd had enough. We were kind of finished there. I'd taken that as far as I could. I'd been busy, and I was looking as well. They weren't going over towards the CrossFit side, and I was looking at getting over to the CrossFit side. There was a CrossFit gym nearby. It was called CrossFit Primal. Yeah. They were brand new. They were a little wet behind the ears, but lovely, nice people, really good. They had they had a small membership, they had a big room and a small membership, and it was all a bit amateur. Was it? But I went along there and I kind of gave some of my advice, some of my experience, some love there. Yeah. And also, they were CrossFit affiliated, so I could get more involved then. Did the CrossFit Open, where you get to go against the rest of the world, kind of really see where you are. Mm-hmm. So I'm assuming I was maybe 37 round about then. So I had a few years till I became a master. They brought masters down to 35 now. So so I'm playing with these 22, 23-year-old superheroes and 37-year-old ex-drinking, ex-nutter. Yeah. So I was at Primal. I stayed there maybe 12 months there. I got involved in some competitions as well. I did Rainhill Trials, which is from Train Manchester. Darren Freeman, Sam, Don Beardwell, Craig Massey at the time, and Matt Foster, who runs the whole thing. Yeah. So I went along, I did that, and on the day, that was early days, and so they had like some of the guys who were athletes who are like top athletes now. They're like regionals and games athletes now. I was up against them, and it was a real eye opener for me. Yeah. So I did that from Primal, and so because I then got involved in that, I was at chatting. It's a lovely community. It's very friendly, it's very warm. If you're interested in it and you care about it, you're passionate about it, it gets seen straight away. So I kind of made some friends then at Rainhill Trials and round other places, and did a little bit of chatting, and then I went round doing some bits of like judging for some other competitions. I did Masters at War, which was, I think it was at Train, it was over Manchester way, and I met a few guys there who trained at CrossFit Delta Fox in Blackburn, and they said, come and train with us. So I trained there for a while. I was there, and I really saw what proper CrossFit was. I really saw there was some beautiful things that I didn't realise that could be part of fitness. You know, like I'd spent all those years with earphones in the Total Fitnesses, and I've finished with that bro, and just watching and being very much on my own.
Yeah.
And then
intimidating place.
Yeah. And then I went doing classes that were kind of like okay and fun and all right.
Yeah.
And then I went to a proper CrossFit gym. CrossFit Delta Fox was a proper CrossFit gym. It was a proper box. It was affiliated. It had been running a while. It had guys there that were competing out of there. It had all different levels. And what I saw was different groups of people. Maybe doing a class, say doing the 5 o'clock class, and then as the 6 o'clock class were waiting to come in, they'd come and watch. And then they'd kind of like a battle scene from Braveheart.
Yeah.
As they came out sweating and dying, they'd all be coming in with the worried looks on their face, and they'd all like intermingle with each other, and they'd be like, "Well, how was it? And you're going, "Yeah, brilliant, lovely." And you'd see little groups of people forming, and there was a lot of love and a lot of community, and a lot of help, and also the coaching was also proper.
Yeah.
They were there to make you better at everything, and whatever you wanted, however you wanted to take your fitness journey, there was somebody there to help you. They had some lovely female coaches there at the time. They still have, and Mikey, who ran the place, and then Chris Cotliff, who I'd actually met, who's a top masters athlete himself now. I think he just came second down at strength in depth sanctionals in the over 35s against some top competitors. We still talk, we still chat, we're close. Yeah. So I found there, and then that's when I realised that, I'm not in Kansas anymore. It was time to go to work. I was still overweight, I was still messing about, but I wanted to get to the higher levels, and that's where it started. That's where how old was I when I started there? So that'll be 5 years ago. Right. 4 or 5 years ago, something like that, probably 4. And then Chris left. Chris Cotliff left. He went up to CrossFit Pendle. He got offered the head coach role up there. Great opportunity for him. When Chris went up there, Mikey spoke to me and offered me the head coach's role at Delta Fox. I'd been coaching there bit by bit. Yeah.
Still building?
Yeah. Absolutely. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. 100% still building. So he offered me the head coach's role to program, to kind of put the timetable together. Yeah. Coach 7 hours a week, and then do other bits of open gym as well. So coach 7 classes a week and do other bits of open gym. And he said he'd pay me, great part-time wage. Really, really looked after me. Yeah. It was my time there was lovely. Made some great friends that are still great friends. So I took that role on, and that was another big thing for me. That was a big responsibility, to take on somebody else. I'd run my own business for 22 years. I'd been self-employed from being a kid. So to take on someone else's business and the responsibility of that was massive for me. I took it really, I took it really personally, and so I did the best I could. And I think I did a good enough job. I think Mikey will still tell you now that we turned that place around. We changed it a little bit from being kind of the members there that were beautiful people, kind of like decided what went on the timetable a lot. They pushed it around a little bit because they were older. And then when I came in, I was like, oh no, we're doing CrossFit. Like this is happening here today. We're going to do this. I came up with an idea, and so funnily enough, which takes us back a little bit. There's a drinking culture in the UK, all right? There's certainly a drinking culture in Bolton, Blackburn and the North West. And so when I got to Delta Fox, I saw that what a lot of them were doing was they were coming in and they were like, well, we'll train Thursday, but then we're having a few beers Thursday night, so we'll leave the Friday alone. Friday night we're having a beer, we'll see how we feel Saturday. Yeah. Before you know it, you weren't getting them back in till Tuesday, Wednesday, because they were hungover or they were busy or they were doing things. That's how it felt. So I tried to come up with kind of like a plan and a timetable and an idea that changed that. It still gave them the opportunity to be social and drink and do their own thing. So I made Mondays huge, I made Mondays tough. It was 35, 40 minutes of high intensity exercise that you needed to be on your game for. So you turn up Monday, you'd get your Monday in, you'd do that. Tuesday we made it a little more, what you would say, like CrossFit based, familiar. Yeah. So you'd understand it, the 21-15-9s, the movements that, the thrusters that are a little bit different, the burpees over the bar. shorter workout, more technical, a little bit of skill work. Wednesday we started to put together like a compete. So those that wanted to compete, we started to put together like a competition style day, which was in pairs. We took ideas from the CrossFit Games and from other people's workouts, and we used those. CrossFit Linchpin, the Monster Mash was brilliant, simple, brutal, mega workouts. If you can ever check that out, you ever just follow, follow CrossFit Linchpin and Pat Sherwood.
Right.
He writes some beautiful workouts. Just like couplets that you're going, yeah, I fancy that, and you get halfway through it and you think, nah, you dirty dog. So we do them, we do them on a Wednesday. Thursday made that a little bit rest day, and then Friday I wanted to give them something that they loved, that they really wanted to do. So I put Olympic weightlifting in, as that's kind of like that's what I do best, like the strength and the power and the Olympic weightlifting style thing. So I put that on at like late on 6:30 on a Friday night, which at least kept them out of the pub in the afternoon straight from work, And then Saturday morning, I put an endurance class on at 10 or 11 o'clock in the morning, and that was a 40-minute, just something simple. Load of rowing, working in teams, load of deadlifts, light deadlifts. Yeah, just something that they all enjoyed and they wanted to come in for.
Wow.
So hopefully what it did is it kind of took out the culture of like, we're out, to, well, we're not out because we're doing that, but Saturday night we're rocking it, and it's the whole thing of like the moderation we were talking about, because the dose is the poison, you know what I mean? Like there's poison in everything, but it's the dose that's the problem. So that was me. Whether it worked or not, I don't know. But I feel it did. Yeah. So that was the idea, and I followed that on once I finished. Once I came towards the end of Delta Fox, I spent 18 months there. I mean, we completely did it up. We completely did it up, and they've just done it up again during lockdown. And I have to say, it's possibly the most beautiful gym you see around the minute. Yeah. Look, it's in partnership with the 180 Project.
Right.
Which look after people with gambling addiction and drinking addictions and stuff like that, and they're turning people's lives around.
Amazing.
And they've got involved in it, and that is, they're doing a great job up there. They've had it all completely revamped. It used to be part CrossFit and part boxing. The boxing gym now isn't there anymore. They've moved out, so they've taken over the whole studio. They've had it all beautifully wool cladded. So it's really worth. So 180 Project with Delta Fox. They're doing everything. Yeah, so it's really worth a look. They're doing great things. They're doing lovely things up there. We do little bits with them ourselves and help out. So the 18 months towards the end of that, I decided I was going to open my own place. I was ready. I'd been in a partnership with Kev that I was kind of very much a junior partner, and I was only helping out, only because he was a friend and I wanted to help out. Primal was a case of a little bit of a stopgap, finding somewhere to look at. Delta Fox was learning my trade.
Yeah.
It was learning how to deal with members, learning how to deal with memberships, learning how to write a program, learning how to write a timetable that fitted in. Not so much fitted in, but change people's ideas. Change people's ideas of what fitness should be and what you should be doing with your life to give yourself that nice balance. That 80-20 balance of, having a little bit of fun, but being fitter and being healthier. And I kind of cut my teeth at Delta Fox, and I felt I was ready for a new place. So
that's amazing. I mean, that whole journey, you've not suddenly woke up, thought I'm going to become a personal trainer, I'll go and open up a box.
I was never being a coach. Ever.
Ever. So you've learned your craft for years and years of doing that. Yeah. And I think that's the key, innit? I think that's the key. It's experience.
It's everything. I mean, I'm driving in this morning. I'm like, I don't want to dog anyone. I don't want to, first of all, I certainly don't want to get political. And I don't want to dog.
Yeah.
And I certainly don't want to dog the industry, because it's a great industry. It needs splitting from aesthetics to fitness. It really does. We need to understand that. But it's too easy to get into it. There's too many people saying, I don't know what to do, so I'll be a personal trainer. I remember being at school, and I remember you used to put this thing into the old keyboard saying what are you going to be, what are your skills, what are your scores going to be, and I think I got fence erector, and I was like, spot on, you know what I mean? And then all the girls got nurse.
It's true,
and I think now, if everybody still had that, I think all the lads that had no real interest in anything, I think they'd get personal trainer.
It's true.
Because there's a huge difference between a personal trainer and a coach, and I'm a coach. I will do some one-on-ones, but that's not my game. You know that. I'll take people from somewhere, and then I'll move them to being better at some things. But I'm not there to help people personally in PT lose weight or you know, like if they lose weight during getting better at performance. Cool, that's fantastic, you know, that's great. But I'm there to coach, and that's how I feel about it. And I just feel we've made it too easy. I don't even know what it is, you know, that the PT level 2 or whatever it is. I think you do it online now. Or something.
Of course you do. Over a weekend. And I had Ant, who I did the course with, who's got a gym over in Stockport, and ours was an intense. I think we were there 6 weeks, and you couldn't have another job. It was a diploma. It was 9 till 5 for 6 weeks. And it was intense. It was exams, and I failed a couple of going along. It was intensive, and now it's just like, you want qualification? Really? Send us your bank details, you go. Well,
a little thing I've missed off though as well, and I must give mentions to these two lads, to Kev Connolly and a friend of mine, Josh Ford, because what they did is while they were learning their craft. Let's not say I helped him out, but I helped. You know, I worked with Kev to get his gym started. And I worked with Josh a little bit at Total Fitness to help him get his degree. And he got a degree in what did he get his degree in? Biomechanics. And Kev got his in strength and conditioning. And so kind of like the unwritten deal was, you know, while I was helping a little and showing them love, they kind of passed on a lot of the information, you know. So while I didn't get those qualifications, while they got theirs, I was learning it, you know, and I was intensely involved in it, and I loved it. And I'm talking over 8 years, you know, and I was talking to the right people and finding out. I think, you know, I mean, 10 years of spending time around the right people, asking the right questions and learning the right things is a little bit more important than a 2-week online course finding out things. So I think that needs to change. I think the fitness industry needs to get hold of that. I think they need to make it a little more difficult. I think the global gyms are allowing it.
Of course they are. I think the average life of a personal trainer is 7 months. Do you know what I mean?
Is it?
The average life of a personal trainer is 7 months, as I pull my mic down. And so and I think everyone jumps in it. I was saying this to Callum yesterday. I think everyone jumps in it, thinks they're going to get 50 quid now, I'm going to train a lot of fit birds all day long with fit blokes. Easy life, take a few selfies, and it's not.
I never saw it. I never. So luckily, I mean, that's news to me. Because I never saw it. I never saw it as that. I never really had anything to do with that side of it, the PT side and the aesthetic side. I mean, you know, it's never really been a bother of mine. Mine's always been about performance, always. Literally. And I think that it's reflected in our gym. It's reflected in DNA. It's reflected in how we are.
What does DNA stand for?
So just itself, just the fact that it's the building blocks of life, deoxyribonucleic acid. It's the building blocks of all life. And that was the idea of what I was starting. I'm not starting something that's a fad. You know, because I heard that. I remember a friend of mine, bodybuilder, saying, "Oh, it's a fad. It won't last long." And I'm like, mate, functional fitness has been going on for 10,000 years. We've been running from tigers and climbing trees and building houses, you know, and moving our bodies with anxiety and at high speeds since we could walk, you know, since we could do anything. So this is not the fad. The other pieces of the fad. This is just a way of standardising what we do. You know, this is just a way of putting it forward and making it sport, you know, and that's all that is. That's really, really important. You know, I think that's really important.
Nice. So go on. You found a unit.
What's
the next? What's next?
Well,
so how did you find your unit?
So how did I find the unit? Okay, how do we go into this one? So anyway, this is the kind of, without the tale of woe. I found somebody who wanted to be a business partner.
Okay.
Wanted to join in. I wouldn't recommend it to anybody in this industry. I would tell everybody if they've got the opportunity to do it on their own, do it. I didn't. Somebody came up, asked me if I'd do some personal training sessions with them at Delta Fox. As I was coming towards the end of that, while I was there, they said, "Look, we've got a little bit of money. I found a property. I'm looking at opening up my own studio, but I need some coaches. I need someone to run it. Would you be interested?" I said, "I'd be interested if I could be a partner and I could run it and I could come up with the whole like premise of it and the whole idea of it, name it, you know, and do everything. So that's what happened there. So she found it. It was actually through her brother. He found us. He's a landlord there, so he found us this little place in Bolton, just off Manchester Road. Nice little building, just right for what we wanted. Off road, not much parking, but you know the opportunity to build my own rigging there. Put together the kind of box that I wanted for the logistics of how I write my programs and how I write things. Concrete floor, big shutter doors straight outside. You know, there's certain things that I feel you need to be able to run a proper program. And funnily enough, your Christian came. He joined up as a member. I coached him for quite a while. He's something of a machine, that boy. God, but we scared him a few times. Don't worry. You ask him when he sees this, he'll remember a couple of the workouts. I give him nightmares about it a couple of times. Yeah. So I started there. You know, did it all up, had a partnership, and then, you know, we built a beautiful community. 35, 40 members. You know, I always said if it's easy to walk into, it's easy to walk out of. So we never made it any easy workouts. We didn't make it, you know, such overly accessible. You know, it was always about kindness and love and coaching and friendliness. But it was about hard work. You know, we have a saying there, and it's be of substance, and it means. It means it in all senses of the word, you know. It means like clean your teeth properly in the morning. It means make your bed properly in the morning. Wash your car, you know what I mean. If you're going to bother doing something, do it properly. So if you're going to come into our gym, you're going to train, just do it properly. It doesn't matter what level that is, you know what I mean. Like you can only work for 2 minutes and you've got to work at a low level, but do it to the best of your ability.
Yes.
So that's what we did with I'll call it DNA 1 now. DNA. We got, I think, how far into it? Maybe 18 months, 20 months into that. And then my business partner came up with a fabulous idea of a new building around the back that a brother also was landlord of. And we'll get some new gear. You can do it up, put showers in it, add little pieces to it. Yeah. It's a little more spacious. It's got more room outside. It was a lovely space, a lovely area. So I said, yeah, I'll do it. So that was maybe we'd opened in October 2018. Am I talking? 2017. Okay. October 2017, the first one. So this will have been in like March 2019.
Full-time job for you now, then?
Full-time job.
Right.
So you're
full-time. Mortgage.
Building's done.
How many kids? One kid, two children.
A 21-year-old and a 7-year-old now.
Yeah.
My beautiful boys.
Yeah.
And so full time. I was all in. You know, I was sold from my business partner. I was sold this idea of, look, we need to build the membership. We 40 members that all love each other's great, but it's just paying your wages and it's just paying the bills. And I was getting tired. I was running the whole show. Yeah. You'll know this as well as anybody. Yeah. You know, when you're cleaning the toilets and you're running the classes,
sorting out the leaks.
You know what I mean. You're fixing the whole piece.
Yeah.
So we decided to move bigger. She sold it to me. It was a great idea. Yeah. I started that, and I think probably started doing it up in April, early May. I spent 8 weeks of just solid building as much as I could. My wife Hilary then came on board. She was coaching some of the classes at DNA. It was back to back almost. Yeah. Moved into the new place. So I think we were in there for the end of June. Got it all set up, got it all done. And then the 29th, I think 27th of September, on a Saturday morning, walked in and the place was empty. All gone. £40,000 worth of gym gear that I'd paid off with the money that was coming in from the memberships. You know, I'd paid off, just gone. Everything disappeared. They'd come in the middle of the night, her brothers, some friends. We got it on CCTV. Wow. And they left us stood there with an assault bike, a huge concrete floor, all the rubber matting had gone. Wow. The whole place had just been absolutely ransacked. There was still some scaffolding boards on the wall that are now my desk at my new place.
Wow. So what was going through your head?
Do you know what? Well, so actually, funnily enough, it wasn't me that walked in. I had a good friend of mine who's still a personal trainer at our place now, Scott. Scott walked in Saturday morning and he rang me at whatever it was, 9 o'clock. He said, what are you doing? How come you've not told me you've moved everything? I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. Got a picture sent to me that the whole place had gone. So I'm like, wait there, I'm coming in. Put a message on the members board like, guys, I don't know, does anybody know what's going on? Let's get down to the gym. Gets there, all the members turn up, 40 people all there. Nobody can believe what's happened.
Wow.
I've then got, oh man, like I was to try and find solutions, and I'm thinking that's me back to building. I'll have to see. So obviously there were a lot of things that went on over the next coming few months, like the financially and things that I had to close down and finish off and put to bed. But that that all got sorted and put to bed at the same time. I went and found somewhere. I went and found another place.
Was you paying rent on this other place, or was it all through her?
It was all through her.
So what happened? All the books was in her name.
Everything.
The bank was in her name.
The CrossFit. The bank was dual. It was that was both of us. But the CrossFit affiliation, she said, I'll sign for it. I'll sort it, because only one can sign for it, and you can be the affiliate manager. It's cool. So I'm like, yeah, cool. So the next we'd co-signed for the first building. On the lease, and the second building, I'm like, the lease hasn't come through. It's like, yeah, cool, I'll get them to send it. They're pretty lax with stuff like this. Like, my brother will be sorting it. So what was actually happening is they weren't sending me any lease, nothing. I mean, come on, looking back now, I'm like, you sucker.
You don't see it though, do you?
Why would you?
Yeah,
I wasn't looking for it. I wasn't looking for it, but I will next time, but it won't happen. So, everything gone.
Yeah.
I have a lot of close friends. I have a lot of contacts. I have beautiful, beautiful members.
Yeah.
I mean, I must have got offered £60,000-70,000 in loans from people.
Did
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We didn't take them. We didn't use them.
Yeah.
We didn't bother.
Yeah.
Luckily, I'd made a contact before that at the time. And I have to give him a huge mention here today. John at Perium Fitness. They were called Prime Fitness at the time. But Perium Fitness now based down in London. And I have a competition that I run called Box Rumble. And I asked John to sponsor it. And it wasn't so much to sponsor it for any other reason than to just give us both a little exposure.
Yeah.
We run a nice competition. There's 300 people over a weekend come through our doors, and he provides all the kit that I need for that weekend. And he's just a beautiful human being. He's just a fabulous guy. So I ring him at 12 o'clock on Saturday. I'd already spoken to an estate agent friend of mine who said, I've got just the building already here. Yeah. I can get you the keys. We can get you in there. They've just bought the building, cash, these two guys. We'll sort the lease later on.
Yeah.
We all drove over, and at 2 o'clock, John from Perium Fitness had turned up with a van full of kit.
Amazing.
Said, that's yours. That's all from the things I sponsor. That's yours. Drove back up to Burnley to his warehouse, filled his van again, came back, said, that's yours. Get going. Get rocking. We had a workout on the Monday evening. We still got videos of it online. We packed the place out. We didn't lose one member. We didn't lose any of them. All I had to do was move the memberships over. We didn't lose anything, and it showed that it was nothing to do with business. No. It had nothing to do. I didn't realise. I thought it was, when I moved the business, I thought I was moving to make the business better. I didn't need to. I was moving a community, and all I've done is move a community again.
You got your tribe.
And now there's more of us. Now it's just built, and it's built over lockdown. And we have. I'm assuming we've got probably the lowest attrition rate of any gym. Yeah. Gym members lost. We just rarely lose members anymore. We have little sets that have left in the past, but have always been replaced. Excuse me. And we have lovely people. It's really close. It's really tight. If you look at the Instagram, if you look at DNA's Instagram, there's some training stuff on there, but most of it's after classes with people sat there. They bring the kids down. There's rooms for them. We sit there and we go out for. We used to go out for meals, and like Friday nights used to be like we'd finish Olympic lifting, and then we'd order a Thai. We'd order some food in. Saturday afternoons and after our endurance class, we put the kettle on. We have a lovely little seating area. We have a lovely little place. Yeah. And we just thought,
can we pause for 1 minute? Yeah. Is that all right? I'm going to text the guy because I don't want to stop. I want to text the guys and say I can't meet him at 1. Is that alright? Just give me 1 second. Yeah. No, are you alright for time, Dom? Is
I think so. Is my car alright?
What time was it? What time did we say? 1:20 was it?
Is that what it was?
I think, yeah. Sorry, mate. Yeah, I just don't want to. I don't want to.
I'm getting pretty close to being done, so.
No, I love this story. It's great.
I'm rambling on.
No, it's good. And like, because there's more to hear about what happened with COVID and stuff like that. So
cool.
Let me just text him now. Gareth, I'm so sorry. The podcast is running over. Is there any chance we can reschedule for next week? Sorry again. Right, done. Right, so are we all good? You don't need to pay or anything.
No,
you're a natural. You need to. Right.
Where were you from?
Where we were up to then.
So we were talking about the community and how we moved it over.
Right. I think literally one of the last things you said was about you ordering the tie-in.
Yeah, cool. Okay.
Cool. Yeah.
So yeah, and then we'd have Saturday afternoons. We'd just sit around. We still do. We stay around. We have. I think we're allowed 24 in our class, so we have 24 in the endurance class. It's always packed full, and there's 15, 16 of us stay around after. And we'll have coffees and socially distanced now, of course. But we do it right, and we make it more than just training. Like the last week. The girls all went on a big 6-hour mountain walk, not the 3 peaks, but something similar. I think it's called the Horseshoe. Yeah. They were on a huge walk together, and I think there was about 8 or 9 of them. And they do things together now. I've seen friendships grow, and partnerships and all sorts have grown through it. Yeah. And it's just miles more important that it's just so much more important than the training side. The training side is great. That's my job, and I love it. I'm sure you can tell I'm crazy passionate about it. I love coaching. I like we've got heart rate monitors. I have the Whoop heart rate monitor and the iPhone, and I'll get my heart rate up nearly as high coaching as I will, on some training sessions because I'm in and I'm 1,000,000% in the room for that hour. And I'm sweating and I'm on people and I love it. And then you can step back, and then probably my favourite thing to do after spending time with my family and coaching is just to sit back on Friday nights, Saturday afternoons, Wednesday nights after our compete sessions, and just watch them interact, just watch the members, talk about how much they love it and what they love doing, and it's fabulous. That's the key for me. That's the beauty of it.
I think that is why we do it, isn't it? It's to keep that community, and
1,000,000%.
It's keeping them. You're changing lives. You are changing people's lives, and that's there's not loads and loads. I'm sure people make a lot of money out of this industry, but as an actual gym owner, it's tough.
There's no money if you're doing it right.
Yeah.
It's not about it's quality. It's not the quantity. I remember speaking to a guy. Just to give it's like a quick analogy, really.
Yeah.
I remember speaking to a guy, and he'd opened at a fitness or health food place. In Bolton, and across the road there was a McDonald's, and I was talking to him. I was telling him about the gym.
Place. What was it called?
Yeah, the 80-20. It was called. Lovely guy, really nice guy. And he said, "Look at this." He said, showed me on his phone. He said, "Look at this on his Instagram. This guy, he's got like 50 women out on this park doing boot camp. They pay $5 each."
Yeah.
He's like, "That's £250 for an hour. What you could be doing that?"
Yeah.
And I said, you know what? Like, you could go over and eat. A burger across the road for 99p, or you could sit here and eat a $7.95 piece of marinated steak with couscous and salad and vinaigrette dressing on it. I said, or you could go and eat like 8 burgers for 99p each if you wanted. I said, that's up to you. You decide. I said, but that's not me. I'm not interested in 50 people not really knowing what they're doing and going, "Hey, I'm getting the best out of it." I'm not bothered about that. Yeah. I'd rather have 2 members that have got a changed lifestyle, that live. The real key is when they're 85 and the grandkids throw the doll out the pram and they can bend over and pick it up and put it back in the pram and they're walking them about. That's when you've won fitness. That's when you've won what we do. You know what I mean? Like not when someone puts a picture on saying, look, I've got abs. Like it's great, it's gorgeous, you know. Well done. That's your thing.
Yeah.
My thing is longevity.
Yeah.
It's health over a long time, and that boils down to then happiness for me. That's what makes that you see happiness. You know, if you change your lifestyle to a healthy lifestyle, to a better way of living, that's where it key is. That's where happiness comes. For me, it does anyway. And so all I'm trying to do is take my experiences of being chubbier, miserable, you know, like unfit, unhealthy, making poor decisions which led to negative results, to changing positive decision leading to positive results and leading to happiness and leading to healthiness, and that's where we are. That's what DNA is, and that's all it is. And that's building communities. It seems to be working.
Well, it has worked, because that horrible time of all your kit going, and then your community pulled together.
It's never been better.
So you've sent them good vibes out there constantly, and they've come back. Do you know what I mean?
We didn't lose one member. We didn't lose one member during lockdown. Everybody offered to pay us, you know, the full amount all the way through lockdown. We gave them. I mean, I'm not great at it. We gave them the Zoom. We gave them the online stuff. We let all our kit out. You know, I mean, I had I have a gym full of lovely kit from Imperium Fitness that we got looked after with, and from the mats on the floor to the rowers, you know, we gave it out to all of our members. We gave everything. There was nothing left. We went back into a bare shell. They got it all. We made sure they had things to do. You know, we made sure they had constant.
And you wouldn't get that at Total Fitness, would you?
Oh, well, you won't get it. Yeah, you don't get it. No, exactly that. And you know, because it was just we wanted to do it differently than the other fitness industry people are doing it. You know, I get it. It's corporate. I understand it's business. It's personal to me. It's not business to me. So we want to make sure they're all right. We did the best we could with the Hillary, my wife, did much more of the Zoom stuff than I did. It didn't really work, you know what I mean? Like, I know there's people are fabulous online coaches. You know, I've seen some people talking about it recently, saying if you're not doing it online, you're not doing it right. I'm certain they're right. I'm certain it's the way forward. I'm sure it's the 21st century. I wish them all the luck in the world. I'm a whites of your eyes guy. I need to be here. I need to be close enough, you know, a metre and a half. I need to be close enough to be saying, not quite right. Let me change that. Let me get you up right. Let me move you. Not like, did you do 40 minutes of work on the screen? Like, you know, we had them saying like, right, we're going for a 400-metre run now, running off the iPad. And I'm like, did you really do that? You know, I don't want
take it with you.
I'm sure they did. You know, it's the virtuosity of our members is fabulous. But you know, we nobody left, nobody went. We all came back, and I think everybody came back to such a relief of like, we didn't realise how important the community was. We didn't quite. I mean, I know they knew, but I don't think I realised it. I don't think I fully saw how important it is to be with other people who share your values, other people who share your morals. Because I spent my youth with people who I didn't share my values and morals with, and it kind of like reflected upon me then, and it kind of took me down that path.
100%.
And now I'm around people that are solid, substantial, virtuous, strong, intelligent people. And I mean, I'm not saying that's what I am, but I'm saying it makes me more that way. You know, the things I do daily, I have people around me that I can count on. You know, I've made some friends there that I don't even have school friends. I have some lovely school friends that I still keep in contact with, but I've got friends there that are closer than them. You know, like I have a couple of close guys who I train with now, and I just feel I could count on them for anything, because I mean, it's probably the closest thing that a guy like me could ever come to. I'm assuming that's what the you know, it's like being in the army. You know, like the wonderful service people that are doing those things. They've got to count on each other so much. I mean, I'm not trying to even, you know, put myself in the same boat in any sense, but I'm saying it's probably the closest thing that somebody like me could come to it. That you get put in that the muck and bullet style workouts and the like the horror shows of some of the workouts, and the fact you've got to get up the next day and work and be fit, and you're doing it together, and the old high fives we used to be able to do, and the fist bumps. You know, and it just brings you closer to people. It brings you within like gorgeous communities, and I'm making some really close, really great friends out of it. But I'm seeing other people doing the same.
Yeah.
And that's it for me. That's the wonder of it. That's the real wonder of the whole thing.
I love all that. So, anyone that's out there maybe wanting to open up a box, you don't have to be a CrossFit box, it could just be any sort of fitness facility.
Yeah.
What advice could you give to anyone that's out there?
Be ready for work. Be ready for work. Be ready for it not being a financial, gold mine early doors. There's a lot of work to go through before you're going to start to want to make money. There's a lot of work you got to go through that you didn't expect was there. You're going to get let down. You're going to get let down by people around you. I mean, I would say, if possible, do it on your own. I know that's not always possible. I know there's a couple of friends of mine at the minute. I think there's 3 or 4 of them opening a nice place in Worsley. And I know a few people who've had business partners and it just doesn't work. That's not bitterness from me. Like if you feel you're with the right people, go into it with the right people. But if you can possibly do it on your own, do it on your own. But be ready, because you're cleaning the toilets.
Yeah.
You can't afford to pay somebody to do it yet, because you're doing that. You're doing the personal training sessions. You're putting everything away at night when you told your members to put it away and you've not got to do it. You're paying for the rows to be fixed when the members have ripped the chain off. You're replacing the stuff that's in there. You're replacing the light bulbs. Look, Ben Bergeron, who's a world-renowned CrossFit coach, he says you don't have to clean the toilet. You get to clean the toilet.
Yeah.
So there's that. That's my advice to people.
I like that, yeah.
My advice to people is, you've got a lot to do.
Yeah.
But it's worth it. It's worth every second of it for me. I wake up now on a Monday morning and I am buzzing to get into work. I am absolutely on fire to get into work. Don't get me wrong, I get times when I've worked hard and I'm getting tired and I need to put my gas mask on. Yeah. I need to recover, and I have a close enough community and a close enough set of friends and coaches and strong enough community around me that can help me do that if I need that. So I would say you need that as well.
Yeah.
But it's really tough, but I love it. And I would do it again in a heartbeat. Maybe I'd do it slightly different. Maybe I'd go for it on my own and take all the kicks and the hits early.
Yeah, I'm a big believer everything happens for reasons.
Of course.
Yeah.
But this is the key, and this is what I've seen, and I know a lot of box owners, I know a lot of gym owners, and I speak to a lot of them, and they all say the same. Darren, Ray at 1111, Mikey even, they'll all tell you, start small.
Yeah.
Start manageable. You don't need to go into a warehouse and pay rates and have massive bills and try and fill it. Find somewhere that's manageable.
Yeah.
Find somewhere that you can use. Get it bust into the seams. Like we got to the point with DNA 1, and I was like, we used to put it up as our Instagram post, like, we're gonna need a bigger boat.
Yeah.
We were getting full. We were getting packed full. So I did it right in that sense. We picked a nice small gym, I think 90 square meters, something like that. Which is, by the time you put a toilet in there and a reception area in there and a rig in and all the kits in there as well. Yeah,
getting smaller and smaller.
Yeah, it eats itself up.
Yeah.
But I would tell anybody, if you're going to do it, start small.
Yeah.
Get some experience, man.
Yeah.
Get some experience. Don't go and get a job at a CrossFit box first. Or go and get a job at a functional fitness place first. Or make sure you're doing it properly. Don't just come as a member and see just your little flashlight of like, well, it looks great to me, because that's not how it is. You need to see the whole picture. You need to see down from the top. You need to see the problems that can arise, and if you're going to do it, be ready for them.
Yeah.
But get on with it,
Yeah.
Do it. If you're going to do it properly.
Yeah.
If you're going to mess about with it, if you want to be a personal trainer that messes on the phone or just like gives them 6 weeks, like pieces of work to do, and you're happy at that, you don't need your own gym for that. Rent someone else's studio off them. Like there's gyms like mine. I mean, we're a busy place, but we've got loads of dead time. Rent our box area.
Yeah.
Or somebody like that's for an hour. You know, come in and find a little space because you've got the kit there.
Yeah.
If you're going to start a gym, you need to mean it. I mean, you'll know this as well as anyone. Like, there's work involved.
Yeah.
Be ready for it. If you're going to do it, mean it. And there's ways out. You know what I mean? If you've had enough, there's ways out. But
yeah, of course. And I think the whole thing is, like you say, you there's the whole business side of it as well. There's the whole marketing side of it. There's the whole balance side as well.
Yeah. You're still
it's-
got to have a family life.
Of course you have.
4 years we've not been on holiday for.
Is that what it is?
4
Right.
years.
So how do you find that balance?
Lockdown saved me.
Did it?
Yeah, the sunshine and
Yeah.
that's really tough. So I look at it like this, and this was speaking to. I have probably one of my very best friends now. He works at he's at Man United, and he's become a really good friend of mine. He's a sports mind coach. He was at Wigan Warriors for a time, and he kind of helps put a lot of things in perspective for me. He's a very, very, very intelligent guy. Has some great stories, and he's like, you know, basically what he was saying was you need 4 caps. And you've got to put each one of them on for different things. You know, you're a box owner.
Yeah.
You're a coach.
Yeah.
You're an athlete.
Yeah.
When you're training, and you're a family person as well. You're a family man as well, and you can't wear all 4 caps.
It's true.
Because it just doesn't work. You've got to say, right, I'm the box owner. I'm dealing with the memberships today.
Yeah.
I'm dealing with, the payment missed and the change of whatever it is. I'm dealing with the team up account or whichever account you use. You know, I'm dealing with the banking, or I'm cleaning the toilets at the time, or I'm hiring somebody to do it, or I'm teaching the coaches how to do things. You know, and then when I'm a coach or a coach and a programmer, I'm just doing that and I'm just dealing with that. And this is the other tip for people. Do the piece that you're doing and make sure you're just doing that. When you're training, when you're an athlete, you know, like, you got crack on, I'm busy, like the coaches are running the gym, things are going on, you know, or I'm doing it out of time or whatever. And then when I come home, Hill and I are terrible for it, we talk about it a lot, but we've talked about recently, only talking about the positives of work when we talk about it.
Yeah.
But I try and come in, and I heard an old tale years ago, and it's about a Russian guy, and he said he used to come in every day after a tough day at work, and he put his hands on a tree outside his house, and after years his wife asked him, and she said, why do you place your hands on the tree? He said, what I do? He said, I take all the troubles from my day, all the troubles from work. He said, and I hang them on the tree at the front of the house. He said, and then I come in my house and I love my family, I love my kids, I play
Such a nice thing,
he said,
yeah,
and then when
yeah,
I go out in the
yeah.
morning, I pick them back up,
Yeah.
I put the load back on,
Such a nice
and
way.
I go back to work, and I always think of that, and I always try not to take the stresses home and the strains. And something I've done recently personally is started answering emails time, not at 10:30 and 9.
It's the balance, isn't it? It's that balance.
Because it's 24 hours. It
Yeah.
can be 24
Yeah.
hours. There's
Yeah.
people that...
And it could be a bad email that's going to set you off
Oh,
while
man.
the kids are driving you crazy.
Wow,
Or-
yeah, and then you've got that in your home, and you've put that cap on with it, and it's not
true.
worked.
Yeah, we struggle with stuff like
I'm
that,
sure,
yeah.
I'm sure,
Yeah.
And it's something that I've just built a little office in my house, and anyone watching this that knows me will be laughing, and I had to get that in there. But I built a little office in my house, and the reason is I was doing my programming, sat while the telly was on, or sat like, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm my little boy, I just adore him so much. You know, he's 7, Hector, and he's like, Dad, can we do this? And I'm like, just hang on, I'm just doing my programming. But he doesn't know I'm not
So
there.
true, yeah,
He doesn't know I'm in here,
Yeah.
in that phone. So now the phone goes in the office, and we play, we watch the cartoons that I'm sick of, we
Yeah.
love, we have our
Yeah.
tea together,
Yeah.
we have bath time, we go to bed at the right time, school run, and then when it's the time for me to go programming,
Yeah.
or answering emails, or telling people what tomorrow's workout is, or whatever, telling people what the best trainers there are to, or the crazy questions you get as a gym owner.
Yeah.
I go into the office now and I sit in my comfy chair
Yeah.
and I answer it and I work, and that might be 15 minutes, it might be 3 hours, it might be whatever, like I've been up till 20 to 2 a couple of days, at 3:30 a couple of mornings, in there working.
Yeah.
But I know I'm in there working, and I know I'm not messing. I'm in there doing it properly.
Yeah.
So I think that's the key. That's the key for when you do start up. Don't start up and try and be all things at once. You're a gym owner.
Yeah.
Be that. Do it and act that way. When you're coaching, don't be, oh, just hang on a minute, I've just got to go and clean the toilet a minute, you lot carry on, you know, or oh, I've thought of a workout while I'm coaching you. Coach.
Yeah.
For that hour, coach, be on it. When you're training, close off. Sorry, I'm training, bang, do that. And then the same, when you go home and be home and do it. You know, I mean, I don't suppose that just sits in with being a gym owner. I think I probably should have done that while I was a builder.
Yeah.
I think I maybe should have done it, you know, while I did other things in my life, and so maybe it took till, I think for me, because I'm 43 now, I think for me, hitting 35, that age, really, really set me on doing things right, and this industry's really helped me do that.
Same here, definitely. I feel like you get
about that age.
Yeah,
Something
it is.
about that age. I've been told that I have a lot of friends who are 32, 34, and I'm like, any day.
It's coming.
Any day. And they're like, no, I've already got it. I'm already sorted. I'm sussed. I'm like, you just wait.
Yeah.
You'll at your 35th birthday. I've already got 2 kids. I'm like, well, I said, I had my first when I was 21.
Yeah.
And it took me till he was 14-year-old until I got things properly and right. You know, he's at university now. And I think 35, I think it's a magic age. And I think it's really
I couldn't. Yeah, it's funny how you say that. So what's next? What's next for DNA? Yeah.
You know, well, I think with the uncertainty, I think with the way things have been going, nothing's changing yet. Nothing needs to change.
Yeah.
You know, keep bringing the right people in. It's not so much a policy, but I'm quite happy to say if it's not for you, our place, it's not for you. I quite happily put my arm around someone and say, hey, look, you came in. You tried. You paid your few quid.
Yeah.
You don't need a membership here. You know, try again maybe next week, but it's not for you.
Yeah.
You know, it's about a certain type of person. So I'll quite happily stay with the amount of members I've got. Mm-hmm. I'll quite happily stay doing that. I'll keep it working that way. But there's other ideas. You know, we're looking at putting a mezzanine floor in at the minute, and we're looking at bringing other personal trainers in and other trainers that want to work, you know, separately in the dead times that we're quiet and no classes on, but also in the times when we're busy. So there may be that. There may be some expansion, but it's just too early for me to plan it. There's no point me planning it and then finding out that I can't do anything for 2 years or something. So I've got some ideas in my mind to expand and to build. We've got a nice 5-year lease on a beautiful place in Bolton. We've got a big yard that's our very own. We've got a lovely building. We've got great members. So nothing's changing just yet. You know, we just keep going. The program gets written monthly. I write an athletes program as well as writing my members program. Yeah. So the members get to come in every day, do the workout of the day, maybe a bit of strength, a bit of technical, a workshop on a Tuesday, the Saturday, and then my athletes, they get to do extra work as well, technically in the gym, and that's my DNA Thunder, and that's working really, really well at the minute. I mean, we've taken some people there, but George, one of my younger lads, 24, 25, he just won the European Championships down south, and so we're really taking athletes on and moving them on forward, and I love that. I mean, I'm going more into that side. I'm going more over into the competitive side of CrossFit and functional fitness. I think British Racing Federation, BRFB, I think they're doing a fantastic thing for the functional fitness in Britain, like the racing type over here. Yeah. So I'm going to be sending my athletes out to that. I'm going to be working on that a lot, and then letting my wife and letting the other coaches and letting everybody else just run the day-to-day, be nice. I'm more of a not aggressive, but I'm more full on and get things right, and they're a little more friendly and welcoming, and everybody's welcome and stuff like that. So that's the way to stay. That's the way we're going to do it.
I love that. I love that. Fantastic, brilliant. So where can people find out more about Dominic?
So I'm on Instagram, Dominic DNA, and then DNA Movement. We're on Facebook. Not bothered setting a website up yet, but Facebook page, the DNA Movement, follow that. Yeah. Everybody's welcome to come down. We have classes throughout the day. We have coaches on hand for all levels and all people. But yeah, just Instagram, Facebook, that's about it. That's plenty. That's plenty enough. People need to see of me.
Brilliant, an absolute natural on the podcast. Yeah, no,
sure.
We need to get you doing a podcast now.
I don't know. Maybe I think I might be all podcasted out until Christmas, and we'll talk again. All right. Thank you so much.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks, Dominic. Brilliant. Thanks a lot.
Cheers.